Hello, everyone. Welcome to Two Guys and Two Movies. I guess this time it's going to be two and a half guys. We have a special guest with us today. My name's Brian. I'm a media arts student at the University of South Carolina.
I'm Alex. I'm studying medieval English literature at USC.
And I'm Jason. I'm a visual communications major.
This podcast is for a project that I'm doing in a new media arts class. And it's also something that we've all talked about doing for a long time. We just never really got around to it. We're all longtime friends, and we're all huge movie buffs, but we have a variety of tastes in our movies. I'm more of a classic film, Academy Award, Oscar, like I'm into the, I guess, critically acclaimed movies. I remember when I was a kid, AFI came out with their top 100 movie list for the first time, or I don't know if it was it was the first time I'd seen it, and I remember going to Blockbuster and going down the list, starting from the top, Citizen Kane, getting that, watching it, Lawrence of Arabia. So I've seen all those old movies. I'm a big fan of Kubrick and Bergman. Kurosawa, who we're going to be talking about later, is another one of my favorites. Kind of what this podcast is about is us kind of watching movies we wouldn't normally watch and looking at them through a different lens and thinking about how we could apply things we know about movies to something that we wouldn't really ever think to watch. So today we're talking about The Wolfman. Came out in 1941.
John Wolfman.
John Wolfman. Starring Lon Chaney Jr., Claude Rains, Ralph Bellamy. I don't remember the name of that.
Bela Lugosi
makes an appearance.
Bella.
And Evelyn Ankers. I'd never seen her
Nope.
until watching this.
So it's those three and then a bunch of nobodies, pretty
Kind of
much.
a bunch of nobodies. Claude Rains is...
Probably a bunch of nobodies that made like 50 movies.
Right.
But still.
One of the first werewolf movies that had ever come out. There is a movie called The Werewolf of London that came out in 1935. I've never seen it. I don't know what it's about, but it does predate this movie by 6 years. It's kind of Lon Chaney's breakout film.
Junior.
Lon Chaney Jr.'s breakout film. Even though when you
he's
watch the film,
he's referred to as Lon Chaney, but
right,
he is the son of Lon Chaney. That is Lon Chaney Jr.
But yeah, this is kind of his breakout, even though he had been in God knows how many movies before this.
Yeah, he's done a lot of horror movies, however, and he's done a lot of monster movies, but this is his most iconic role.
Yeah, I think I counted it when he was working for 20th Century Fox. He was in 27 movies from 1937 to 1938.
Do you know offhand how many he did for Universal?
For Universal, I don't know, but he did all of the Wolfman movies.
So wait,
Yeah,
you
so there's
said that
four
was
of those.
37 to
Said there's
38?
5, and he also
I
plays
got those.
the son of Dracula.
Oh, man.
Yes.
This was crazy new information to me.
Right, you being a huge fan of the Castlevania series.
Yes.
And
Lon Chaney?
specifically Symphony of the Night.
Was it? Lon Chaney Sr.?
Lon Chaney Jr.
Lon Chaney
plays
Jr.
Alucard.
is the original freaking Alucard?
Yep.
It's crazy.
Right.
Mind-blowing.
So yeah, I mean, it's a really old movie, so
It is.
can't think of much else from this time that I've seen. Like, I've seen Casablanca, Gone with the Wind.
You've seen like
Citizen
Frankenstein
Kane.
and the Mummy,
yeah.
Creature from Black Lagoon, and
Right.
Dracula.
so all the classic Universal horror, monster flicks.
Yeah.
However,
I don't feel like I've sat there and like watched all of those.
Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah, okay.
that's
Lon
Lon Chaney, yeah. I never saw the old Mummy, and I've heard bad things about it. I gotta say, I'm gonna just be upfront about it. I think
That's Karloff.
Yeah.
Has the Mummy, yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't necessarily, I guess, want to like throw the rating out, spoil the rating, because we, do that at the end. But
you like Dracula and
yeah, I think this is the worst of the like Universal monster movies that I've seen. Yeah.
Okay. Directed by George Wagner? I guess Wagner.
Yeah, I
Two
think
G's.
it's
Wagner.
Yeah. Ggener.
Ggener.
Ner. Okay.
WA.
Wagner.
So the film opens, and you have this like shot of what looks like it's inside a dictionary or like a medical journal or something. It gives the definition of lycanthropy.
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 Lycanthropy. Werewolfism.
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 Mm-hmm.
And then the opening shot is of Lon Chaney Jr.
Lon Chaney Jr.
Writing to his
Lon Chaney Jr.
Giant castle, the
Sh-
Talbot
sh-
Manor. I love these backgrounds and these opening shots. They're amazing. You can tell you're in the 40s when you watch these shots.
Yeah, this movie is very easily identifiable.
No, they've reused a lot of sets for these monster flicks too because they're so extravagant. And
they're
Christopher Lee
focused
was-
on just making a bunch of horror movies, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like a specific studio that's just doing a bunch of horror stuff at the time.
Christopher Lee said that Boris, Bela Lugosi would come in and kind of walk around on the sets and nod at pieces of furniture, and his assistant would take note of it. And sure enough, at the end of them filming, those pieces would be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
they
just
also-
accepted that they're going to be added to his private collection.
Right.
We also, I think I noticed that they reused a couple of shots. In
Yeah,
this film, too.
there's
Yeah,
a
they
couple
do.
shots.
It's just
I
Hollywood
mean,
being
yeah.
Hollywood.
They only spent the 3 hours making up the Wolfman once, and then they just shot 15 minutes of footage and used it a bunch of times.
Right. So yeah, he's returned home. Why is he come home?
His brother.
His brother
His brother's
died.
died. Is that why
Yeah.
he's there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, they don't go to his funeral or anything.
No, I think it starts afterward.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's like coming to talk to his dad, who's played by Claude Rains. And I was immediately like, that's
Dad?
your dad?
The Invisible Man.
Are you
Yeah.
older than him?
Yeah, when they first showed up, I was like, he's like a foot shorter than you, and you look like you're like 5 years apart in age. I was like, how is this your dad?
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just thought it was kind of funny. I looked it up, they're like 16 years age difference.
Oh, really?
I mean, it is kind of plausible, but
Yeah.
they just didn't
Conceivable.
look like father and son when I first saw them.
They don't.
Um,
I couldn't imagine Claude
It
Rains
was a different
like
time back then, so
Right.
change was
changing
acceptable.
Lon Chaney
Father.
Jr.'s poopy diaper.
right. And yeah, they go up to the attic.
Lon Chaney Jr., did you just poop your diaper again?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, shucks, Dad. They go up to the attic, and he's showing him his giant fucking Hubble telescope that he has
Oh, yeah.
upstairs.
And so the first thing
And
he
the first
does...
thing he does is obviously looks across the street at some woman getting dressed.
And
So
I
that
remember
telescope is awesome.
Yeah, we watched this movie separately, and it was like, what did you think? You're like, well, it's kind of a pervert. It's like, yep.
Yep.
Like, this guy, man, it's crazy. I don't know if this is, like, considered a date back in the 1940s. You know,
It was
I'm
so
not a
awesome.
historian.
I was like, when he goes across the street, like immediately after that.
Oh,
to
yeah,
talk to
that's
her,
a
I was
great
like-
conversation
I was
starter.
like, what the hell is he going to say? Like, hey, you want to go get something to drink? And he basically
He
just
says
confesses.
exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moonlight
I
bounces
saw
beautifully off your titties.
I saw you
Right.
across the street from my
Excuse
apartment
I
me?
was
to
looking
your
at you in
room.
a telescope.
Would you like to go out on a walk? So I can
like
Make sure
read
you wear the red panties. I saw that you put them aside.
My name's Ed Gein.
Oh, man, what a creep. Yeah.
What the hell? But anyway.
And she's like, oh, I have a fiance. Like,
what was that about?
then why don't you not talk to this strange man who's been peeping on you?
Right.
It's a different time back then.
I guess so. So this is their second date. Their first date was him masturbating with the telescope.
Right.
Which man,
Date
Into
number
Claude
2 is
Rains'
him
sock.
him coming into the store and demanding her earrings and demanding coffee. So,
Right.
all right.
He won't leave her alone.
If they have one more date, they're ready for marriage. In
Right.
1940s, that's...
Yeah, he like basically demands that she go on a date with him, and she sells him the wolf head cane, which will come into play later.
It's like the only cane that they had in there that has like a hammerhead.
Yeah,
Like it just, I mean, it's like comically large,
right.
And
I mean, like,
It
there
wouldn't-
are canes that exist that look just like that.
I know,
It's just
but
that
it's
they have,
still-
like, prominent heads because they're feature pieces. They're, works of art or whatever, conversation pieces. But yeah, you're right. He gets, like... It's like, oh, this one will be good to maul things. Like,
He gets
picks
the
up
one that's most obviously a murder weapon.
Right.
And
I mean, you gotta admit, though, if you're gonna kill werewolves,
yeah, silver wolf head hammer.
a fucking silver werewolf-tipped cane, like,
That's a pretty good weapon.
that's a badass weapon.
That'll do a D4.
You are a goddamn gentleman.
At some point immediately after this, Claude Rains explains what becoming a werewolf is.
Oh, well, but, okay, so we've
What's a werewolf?
already run into the exposition twice, right?
So they showed it on the opening screenshot.
It's a man that
And then-
wears wolf
Right.
skin.
Essentially, one of the characters reads what we already read.
Oh.
I think in the first 10 minutes we've heard this poem 3 times.
Three
something
times.
like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they go on their
There's a lot of reuse
walk
of
date.
content
Right, and they
in
go
this
on
68-minute movie.
the foggy set that we see.
You could try to make a movie on a $400 budget.
Yeah, seriously.
And that's, they run into the, gypsy camp, and we see Bela Lugosi.
Bella Lugosi
Bella
is alive.
Either
either
Gypsy
plays Dracula in movies or he goes by his name Bella, which I think is great.
He's called
That's
Bela
awesome.
in this movie.
I mean, I think he's done some other roles as well, but there's been lots of Bella as Bella.
Right.
Right. We see the pentagram on his hand.
Mm-hmm.
when
He's been marked.
Right, when he's, what are they doing? He's, reading her fortune.
Reading a
She's
poem
been
or
marked.
something,
Yeah, reading
yeah.
her poem. And so, yeah, he, turns away and, kind of runs away and, what the hell happened to Bella? And, yeah, that's...
And his, lich-like mother.
Yeah, who also...
No, come in.
She's a very old
so
woman.
Lon Chaney Jr. and Elizabeth, is that her name?
She was probably alive during, the Napoleonic Wars.
Gwen and Larry are going on their... They leave the gypsy and they go on a walk and they get attacked by a wolf. An actual wolf.
An actual wolf.
Right, it's
This
a
is
werewolf.
important that Bella turns into a wolf.
Right, and Larry saves Gwen and gets bitten in the process.
But Larry becomes Larry Wolfman.
Right.
However, the gypsy explains that she says sometimes it changes you and sometimes it,
Oh, really?
yeah, she goes into the description before all that's
Before he gets bit.
yes.
Well, yeah,
Really?
He gets bit.
Okay.
He gets bit. They take him home.
I buy that.
Yeah, they find a dead body. It's not a wolf. It's Bella.
Mm-hmm.
So he's changed back into his human form.
He's been beaten to death with a silver hammer, which they find at
which
the
they
scene.
find. And they take it back to Larry's
Larry,
house.
you forgot your cane, sir.
Right.
It's covered in
And-
Bella's
right, he
brains
left
and
the
a
scene
bunch
the
of blood and
crime.
hair.
Right.
I'm sure they cleaned it for him. I hope you don't mind. We
They
kept
him-
the bits of blood and brain and skull matter for our scientists to analyze.
Right.
They're in the lab right now, mixing it with water.
So right, the lead suspect has left the scene of the crime. They take the weapon that was used
Yes.
in the scene of the crime and return it to the
give
only
it to him.
suspect.
Give it to the only suspect and the person who you can confirm owns it.
Right. And then leave him to go about his day.
Now, if you
And-
see that man who's been bludgeoning people,
You let
With
us
your
know.
cane.
you go ahead and bludgeon him first.
Yeah.
I mean, he even walks up to Bella's dead body in the coffin, and he's able to view it. It's
Yeah, he,
what is
punches him in
going
the
on
face.
this society. It's pretty awesome.
He takes
I
the
guess this
hammer
is-
out and just starts going at the body.
We determined this is kind of the end of Act 1.
Yeah.
After Bella's died, and they kind of leave him the cane. That's kind of...
I guess one good thing about the super early filmmaking is that things are generally going to be, very basic
Clear cut.
3-act plot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you generally won't get anything more than that.
Yeah.
This was at the point in the movie where I realized, holy shit, everybody is wearing a hat And almost everybody is smoking a cigarette. I don't think Claude Rains
It was in style, and smoking cigarettes was healthy for you back in the 40s.
of course.
I didn't
It's
notice the
time
cigarettes
that
thing,
has made them
but
bad for you.
we were both going through this movie, just like writing down like random comments, and we both wrote down I wrote down hats are a thing.
Right,
Like, this
and I
is
wrote
back
down
in the day.
So many hats
This
and
is like
cigarettes.
pre JFK or whatever.
Yeah, because JFK is apparently the thing that like got people to stop wearing hats.
Right.
Because he was like a popular, good-looking president, and he didn't wear a hat.
He didn't wear a hat.
It's funny if you like watch his speeches. It's like him talking, and you just like look behind him, and every single person is wearing a hat.
Yeah.
He has such a good hairline.
Right.
Larry leaves the house and like goes and looks at Bella's coffin, and then wanders over to the antique shop and meets up with Gwen again. And then her friend Frank shows up to like take her out to the fair. I don't know what. There's something going on in the town. And Frank, for some reason, has this strange premonition after looking at Larry with his cane. He says something along the lines of, like, that man looks very tragic. You're gonna die if you stay with him, or, like, nothing but harm will come through to you through him. So it was just, like, throw a random character
Yeah,
here,
random
have him
friend
say
of
something.
hers can
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadow,
Like,
right.
can just
I guess
prophecy.
that maybe was a 40s thing. I don't know. But anyway, they
That's like Horatio coming
they go
in
to
or whatever.
the fair, and they're like playing some games. Larry shows up and starts hanging out with them.
Right? Aha!
And they're
Larry
playing,
can't
like,
shoot the wolf.
The shooting game. And yeah, Larry's like doing fine until a wolf pops up and he can't shoot
He
it.
can't shoot it
He can't shoot it because
it's him.
it's him. He is a wolf.
He knows.
He knows.
Has he seen the ridiculous pentagram bite mark on his chest yet? Have we seen
No,
it?
it's like disappeared because he like in the morning he like pulls.
Okay,
his
so it's
shirt
not
open
there
and
yet.
It's not there anymore. But yeah, he like wanders off after he can't shoot the wolf, and like meets up with the Lich, Bella's mother.
Yeah, what's her name?
Her character's name is Maleva, the gypsy fortune teller.
Okay.
But this is the point where she gives him the charm and
Right.
says, like, wear this and you'll be protected. And then...
And he immediately gives it away.
He does. Shortly after that, he gives it to Gwen. But this is also where we get the, like, insane, like, special effect thing that I didn't even know, like, how to describe. I just wrote down, like, wow, what are those special effects?
That was just the
like cross-fading into like the gypsy's face, and yeah,
right.
what is this? Yeah, it's
a nice little
he's
freak
going
out
crazy.
moment.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
You get like Twilight Zone. You see Bella. You see a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
See the pentagram.
Right,
Yeah.
the pentagram. Yeah, it's just awesome. Yeah, and the image of him killing Bella. Yeah, it's just crazy, crazy. But yeah, it's just fun to see the old style of how they did that. I mean, I guess it's effective. You get that he's like going crazy, but it's just
He gets the
a
message
really
across.
crazy visual. But yeah, he goes home and he's like starting to transform. I guess you'd say it's not quite American Werewolf in London level special effects.
No, Jack Pierce did the makeup for this, though. He did a really good job.
Yeah,
And he's a big name for those sorts of effects. But they actually they used pins on Chaney's fingertips to hold him in place. So when they do time lapse of him transforming, that's him like basically being pinned in place as they slowly apply makeup.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a chia pet when he starts evolving a little bit. Just like
We both wrote down
chia.
chia.
You look at him when he's in the Wolfman, like his face looks like the Halloween like wolf face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's basically that.
That's what he's
face.
supposed to. That's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah, he's
funny.
the classic iconic werewolf.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Just like Frankenstein is the green monster with the bolts and the square
Yeah.
head.
so yeah, he changes into a werewolf and wanders out into the city. Walks down the familiar foggy path that we see.
There's a lot of fog.
Yeah, we get some good 40s music here too. I mean, it's been playing throughout the the film, but that was another thing I realized.
Yeah.
Is just like how over the top a lot of the
Oh yeah,
like,
the music.
background,
Yeah.
tracks are. It's just like
I mean, they
violin,
had
just,
classical
like, big
music, and that
band.
was
exactly.
yeah.
That's basically all they worked with.
There is a lot of fog. I like that though. I like that a lot, and I think
It's
it's
atmospheric.
typical of black and white movies to be able to use that effect a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah, because you can just like completely block out,
The background,
and anything, and just have it be like
it's
super
very
creepy.
theatrical, and it's that's
Very dramatic. Yeah.
So yeah, he like wanders into the graveyard, and there's a dude digging a grave. I don't know if he's digging Bella's grave, but
he might be.
it
That's
would make
a
sense if he
yeah.
was.
Is that Robinson?
Richardson. He's victim number 1.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
I think it's Richardson.
Gravedigger.
yeah. But yeah, there. Like I also wrote down, there's a lot of gypsy discrimination in this movie.
Oh, of course there is.
is.
It's from the 1940s.
Right, like it's
They're
like,
just racist
I bet
as
it's those
shit.
damn gypsies again.
Yeah.
And
And he got a tattoo
right, he got a tattoo in the middle of the night
to memorize it. Just like kill count 1.
Put
Bam,
it
star.
right here. Yeah, and he doesn't remember what happened the night before.
In his
Yeah, really,
forest
this is kill count 2, because his first kill was a werewolf.
was
Right.
Bella, yeah.
But then he was awarded the power of turning into a werewolf. So he was granted power. So he got werewolf class, and now he's ranked up.
And his floor is covered in blood.
Right.
Right.
Kind of labeled this as the end of Act 2. Is he's
Yeah.
made his first kill, and he's come back, and he knows, and he's like aware.
The
of that.
villain, yeah.
He's the bad guy. Yeah, and his father, Claude Rains, gives him this ridiculous
This
speech
is the weird speech.
about like the other side of men and like how.
Yeah, the werewolf represents the darkness inside us
Exactly.
all. It's all like very
So,
Yeah,
like,
it's-
what are you saying about your
Psychoanalytical.
son? Like, we know that your son is a werewolf, so are you saying that like?
Well,
There's
I mean,
something
to
about
this,
it is
to
like-
this point, he's been like, we've obviously noticed that he's been very aggressive towards women.
Yeah.
It's like he hasn't been very compassionate towards his brother based on what his
True.
father said. You just get a feel that he may not be the best person.
Yeah.
And I think that this movie is about the dichotomy of that. And I think that, well, we can discuss it more in later detail towards the end of the movie. But I think that in a more significant way, in a more obvious way, like him transforming into this animal and him struggling with that is in line with that theory too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also wrote down that like there's a lot of like crazy accents going on in this movie. Like I don't, where is this supposed to be set? In
It's
London?
in England
It's in
somewhere.
England?
It's not.
Well, Claude Rains is English.
Yeah.
I mean, the gypsy woman, she's Russian. Lon Chaney is American. So it's like, I don't know. It's like a lot.
It was
of
really
just
hard to
sounds-
place. There wasn't a lot.
And for a while. We were like, where are they supposed to be?
Yeah, and there's not a lot that's like that establishes any of the setting really.
Right.
And Evelyn Anchors is Chilean.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Like I would still think of like a werewolf as being like a Central European kind of
It's
folklore
weird.
thing.
Like, that's what I originally thought, but the more... I've been watching a lot of werewolf movies lately,
Yeah.
and the
I suppose
more
the
I watch,
term is
the
like
more it's like
Anglo-Saxon.
English. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't
Makes
it?
sense, yeah.
So yeah, they like talk to the doctors. They don't know what the hell's going on. Like they don't believe in werewolves. So it's like
Right.
the best thing for him to do is stay here at home.
Yeah.
Like prove his innocence. I think that's what his father says. And then like immediately after that, you know,
He kills again.
cut to him outside of the house. So it's like I guess we didn't really.
Is this where he tied him up, or is this where he just left?
No, this is before.
This is just when he
No, it's
leaves.
just like we should probably keep him in the house, and then he's just like out roaming about as the werewolf. And he steps into the bear trap,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and gets helped by the gypsy woman. What's her name again?
Mileva?
Mileva.
Mileva.
Maleficent. Mileva.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how like.
Why you would help the person who killed who beat your son to death
Well,
with the
yeah,
cane?
I mean, if she might like sympathize with him because she knows about the curse and stuff, but if Like maybe had come to grips with the fact that Bella was doomed anyway.
Right.
But how does turning him back into a human release him from the bear trap?
His foot got smaller.
But it's like spring loaded.
Up.
It would tighten up on your finger or on your foot, right?
Maybe
if that's
not
the one
back
thing
then.
you're not
I'm
going to
not sure.
accept, then we're not going to.
No, it's one of like.
No, you know what? You know what, Alex?
No, you're right.
It's like one of 100 things.
How come Iron
You're
Man was able to shoot lasers?
Because he has
Lasers aren't real.
Oh, okay.
Maleva.
The gypsy woman, lets him out, and he
Maleva.
stumbles back to the house, and like he wanders by some of the group that's out hunting the werewolf. Limps by them barefoot. Like,
Yeah,
what the hell are you doing
exactly.
out here? He's like, oh, just taking a walk.
Just
well
taking a piss.
What
Might
was
as well
that?
be carrying
that
a
was
sign
Larry
that says,
Talbot.
"I'm
he
the-
was out wandering around.
I'm the werewolf and I just escaped from a bear trap.
Right.
Like,
And then he like runs back into the street, or like back into the town to like go get Gwen. And I wrote down like these are some of the strangest cuts I've ever seen. He like runs through the town and like runs down the street and then like cut and he's like in front of her building. Like I don't know. It's just like I don't think they'd figured out how to like cut or like the 180-degree rule or like the line of.
Is that where we also get like the guards or whatever, and one guy comes up and he's like, "Oh, what was that?" And he's like, "Oh, it was," or did you already mention
That's what just happened.
Okay, that's what just happened.
Oh, that was just Larry Talbot.
But then they did that twice, right? Because then the other guy was like, "Oh, that was somebody else that was just asking about Larry,"
Right.
or whatever.
What were they talking about?
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
just about Larry Talbot.
It's super weird.
Hey, what were those two guys talking? Oh boy, I see
How
where
many
this
times
is
do you
going.
need to nest this scene?
Yeah, so he comes and gets Gwen, throws some rocks at her, say anything's her out of the house.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm going to run away. And she's like, okay, I'll come with you. I'll leave my shop and my fiance
And
my father.
And and like, you're obviously...
And run
there's
away with
something
a
wrong with
convicted murderer.
Yeah. You're cursed by the same thing
Confessed
that
pervert.
earlier killed my like best friend.
you. Right.
Well, you've already seen my deformities, so...
Right.
Right. But then he, like, just, like, runs away from her? Yeah, her father shows up and...
No, he sees the
Scares
pentagram,
him.
right?
He sees the pentagram on her.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
right.
like she's gonna be the next victim.
Yeah.
He sees the pentagram on her hand, and...
No, I mustn't.
Right, he runs away, like, gets away from her. Comes home, tells his father, like, listen, I'm a werewolf, like, you gotta keep me here, like, make sure nothing happens.
Daddy.
Daddy.
So I pooped
I'm
my
really
diaper.
into BDSM. I want you to tie me up real nice.
I've
I've been a bad boy.
Yeah, he straps him to the chair, like, tapes him there, and, like, okay, we're gonna keep you here all night. He's like, alright, thanks, Dad. He's
They
like,
try to
"All right,
pull the
now stay
Oz
here
thing."
while I leave.
Right.
He's like, where are you going? He's like, oh, I have to go see what's going on outside.
Take
I
a
gotta
piss
help
out in the
I-
woods. You know,
What would
everyone in the
people
family
think
does
if I
it.
didn't leave my house in the middle of the night?
Exactly. So I just thought that was so preposterous that you would leave your son there by himself.
When we see that again in Buffy, they like put him in a metal cage and have like a guard posted on him.
Right.
Like,
And so obviously,
you don't just tie him down and leave
right.
him. He's got
Obviously,
superhuman
he's going
strength.
to escape.
He's the Wolfman.
And of course, like a minute later, we get the familiar shot of him walking through the woods again. There's no, you think they could have like shown
So
him, like,
that's the one. Yeah.
breaking out of the chair, maybe, or like getting
Right.
out of the house.
We actually kind of don't need to see him walking through the woods again.
You know
We
what?
can
You
assume
guys
that
fund
that's
this
happened.
movie. I'm fucking sick of this. 1941.
Right. And
Yeah,
so,
it's Universal Pictures.
for 10 seconds.
They could have.
My God.
They could have spent plenty of money on making that movie.
Yeah, they could have.
So we get this super intense chase scene of them running through the woods. And then Claude Rains shows up with a cane, wolf cane in hand, ready to bludgeon his son to death.
It's called the Wolf's Bane.
Wolf's Bane cane. It's blooming. Yeah, and he beats the shit out of his son.
He sure does.
He did not.
Get that boy a good old ass
not know
whooping.
the yard. Yeah, he beats him to death.
and keeps going.
Yeah, and when he changes back
He
into his son, he
cane
beats him a little
stop.
more.
Yeah, he's like, Oh my god, it's my son!
It's my son. And so yeah, he dies.
And then
That's
the
it.
end.
That's
The
it.
end.
Yeah, that's
Right?
the end of the
Just
movie.
like, that's
the
it.
curse of the werewolf is over.
Yeah, and it somehow, except that they made 4 sequels, but
Yeah, how did that
so
happen? I didn't even think about
if he's
that.
dead,
Um,
and
In
he didn't bite Claude Rains,
in American Werewolf in London, it's that you have to kill like
the original.
the original werewolf
Oh.
for like all the spirits of the other ones to leave.
I see.
I don't know if that's
So yeah, John
in the
Wolfman
same
lives
company,
on after this.
Maybe the gypsy.
and poor
resurrects
Missy
him,
has
but
to
not
marry her
Bella.
fiance.
Oh yeah, Frank shows back up at the end. He was damn right. He's like, I told you it was bad news. Yeah. So I guess what ratings? What do we give it?
Okay, so it's like super iconic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was fun to watch. It's nice and short, like it's very well contained, you know. I have some issues with the acting and just like the technology that was available at the time, but and I think that the other Universal and and Hammer monster horror movies are
Dracula,
better.
Frankenstein,
Yeah,
Mummy.
and like Hound of the Baskervilles and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. I think those are generally better. But like I said, I don't know about the Mummy. I haven't seen that.
Gotcha.
Now, Brendan Fraser's Mummy, on the other hand, that is a masterpiece. And yeah,
It's his second best film, which isn't saying much. But
it is his
what's-
second best film.
What's your rating?
It's watchable. I don't know that I would necessarily say that it's good. I'd give it a 6.
6? Okay. Yeah, I kind of I kind of agree with most of what you said. I'm not particularly a fan of like super old movies. It takes until about 1955 for me to actually like have it, like these are some of my favorite movies that I want to watch over and over again.
And that's also when you get like crazy good Dracula and stuff.
Well, yeah, but I don't know that's necessarily that much better than Bela Lugosi's Dracula.
No, but
you
how much
do
better
get,
is it than
Bergman
Wolfman?
and Kurosawa and like a bunch of
Start getting people that know.
super good directors are starting to make stuff. Even Kubrick. Yeah, I don't think the acting was particularly bad. I mean, Claude Rains is a good actor. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. I think he has the Best Actor award to his credit.
I don't know. Maybe it was just how creepy Lon Chaney was.
Yeah.
How much of a creeper he was.
Right. I thought it was enjoyable. It's really short, so it's
Yeah.
very easy to get through.
Yeah, you can
It's like
just watch
watching
it.
a long episode of television.
If I were doing like a day-long like monster horror marathon, I would still put that in there.
Right. There, for me, like, it was less to do with, like, what it looked like the set and the design of the costumes and all that stuff. I thought most of that worked pretty well. For me, it was just, like, some of the plot, like what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
why do you leave him there by himself? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, why is this pervert? But I guess you kind of explained that's kind of showing his darker side to give credit to what Claude Rains says about men. And
Claude Rains is supposed to be super wise, right?
right. I gave it a 6.5. It's the lowest rating I've given so far, I think. But I would watch it again. I'm not necessarily like looking to see the sequels and whatnot, but
Yes.
it's I can see the appeal of the movie. I guess I
Yeah.
can say that.
I could definitely see why it was popular.
Right.
I'm a big fan of these sorts of movies, older movies in this time period, as well as the horror genre. This, I think, is one of the best monster movies that came out, and Jack Pierce did an amazing job with physical effects, especially the makeup, amazing. I really like how they set the mood in this movie, and I would probably recommend it for anyone who's like starting into horror, especially for like younger kids. Like I think I was probably 4 or 5 when I first saw this, and it was instantly my favorite. Overall, I'd probably give it a 7.5. It doesn't hold up as well nowadays, but
Yeah.
it's still, like you said, short enough for it to be entertaining.
Right.
And
It's a bit of a
it was-
nostalgia factor.
yeah,
for
and it
you.
has the nostalgia factor.
Right.
Yeah.
It was very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though like it was just like laughing at like, wow, look at this.
Yeah,
Like,
and you
look
could
how
just be like,
crazy
oh,
this
that's the Wolfman. Like,
Right.
that's
Yeah, and
that's werewolves.
so, and then there was also like, you know, so some of it was like laughing at it, but then some of it was also just like, you know, it was neat. Like you said
Yeah.
before, it was neat to see
Right.
how they used to do stuff like that because
Right.
because you have limited technology. Like, how do you show a scene like somebody like in the middle of turning into a werewolf and going crazy and having a dream about like all this
Right.
fucked up stuff that's going on? Like, it's cool to see
Right.
how they did that, but I just think like the bar has been raised so much in the intervening
Exactly.
70 years or whatever. That's
It's weird though. Like I just
But that's
saw.
like when it's starting, is like right
Yeah.
there. It's like people are starting to figure it out.
yeah.
Yeah, I just saw Hereditary, and they're like claiming that to be the new Exorcist and yada yada, which I
Yeah.
guess they do like every year with the new movie, the
Right.
summer blockbuster. Oh man, it was terrible.
Of
It's
course.
terrible.
Yeah, I could have fallen asleep during that movie. I should have fallen asleep during that movie. And it's just like they're still hyping it up. I remember they were like, "Oh, paramedics were called because people were having heart attacks and getting
I feel
sick
like I
and
hear
walking
that
out the
about
theaters."
Every horror movie.
Yeah, and you know, I'm just like, you know, they said that in the 40s about this. They would like give you free life insurance as you would go in because, you know, the risk of
They
death
hand
by
out
fright.
like barf
and-
bags as you're walking.
yeah, it's
in.
just
Right.
like, okay, maybe one person got sick because they had the flu when they
Right.
saw this movie.
Right.
But
I could see people getting sick when they saw The Exorcist the first time.
Yeah.
That was probably
yeah,
pretty
no, that was
shocking.
pretty, that broke a lot of society's molds.
It's one of my favorite
as far as-
movies.
Yeah.
is The Exorcist.
It's a good one. It's
And
probably my top 10,
up next
for sure.
is
we
probably
should probably-
my actual favorite movie.
It's in my top 2.
We are watching Barry Lyndon.
Oh yes.
Uh,
Oh
coming
yes.
up next.
Barry
the
Lyndon.
Luck of Barry Lyndon.
So good.
So yeah,
So very.
I'm
very
looking forward to that. I
I'm
think
very
we all
excited.
are.
Yeah.
It's all just going to be a massive orgy of Kubrick and
Yep.
gushing.
I hope that one we can all watch together.
That would be nice.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
So until next time, 2 guys, 2 movies.
Good
And
night
Jason.
and good luck.